Hello everyone, welcome back to Dibya classes. In the last video, we completed library classes, chapter 8, the first chapter of class 10. So today, we'll learn to write programs by using two classes, that is buffer reader and scanner. So I will make you understand the writing a simple program first. So let us start. The first program is write three programs. Okay, you have to write three programs to input all types of values in Java and print them. You have to write three programs, means three separate programs to input all types of values. All types of value means the types of values we have studied in chapter 3. All types of values means integer values, real values, boolean values, string values, single character values you can say, character values. Okay, all types of values that we have studied in Java, and we will be taking of all data types also, like byte, short, int, long, float, double. Okay, all data types also, and take the input from whom? From the user, and print them. You just have to take the input and print them. One of the most easiest program, I would say. Okay, but we'll do this program using three methods. That is using three programs using three methods. That is using parameter method, we studied in chapter 4. How to take input using parameter, chapter 4 of class 9. All the class 9 programs we did in parameter, and few of the programs in scanner also. You already know scanner, but again I will revise it. And the same program using buffer reader and the same program using scanner. So how to write the same program using scanner, using buffer, and using normal parameter method. Okay, always remember all the programs in Java, each program in Java can be written in all the three methods, that is parameter, buffer reader, and scanner. Okay, but buffer reader and scanner has their own advantage over parameter, because if you use parameter in few of the programs in your board exam, you might face a little bit of trouble. You can write, but it will not be a very good program. If you really want to write good programs, okay, I would suggest try to use buffer reader or scanner. And if it is a menu driven program, you know what is menu driven program, we studied in chapter 5 class 9. So menu driven program is where you ask the user to input some choice. In that type of program, please use buffer reader or scanner. It is advisable to use buffer reader or scanner. Okay, let us solve this question. So you have to write three programs separately, one using parameter, one using buffer reader, and third using scanner to input all types of values in Java and print them. So let us start. So always remember, before writing a program will always have three parts. That is input, processing, and output. All the programs in Java will always have three parts, that is input, processing, and output. For example, there is a program, write a program to add two numbers. So here the input will be two numbers. If you don't know the two numbers, how will you add it? Processing is adding those two numbers. Okay, if the numbers are a and b, you will add a plus b, and output will be the answer of a plus b. If the answer is stored in C, then you will print C. Now all the programs in Java will be divided into three parts, that is input, processing, and output. Okay, so here buffer reader, scanner, or parameter method, here we are only talking about the input part. We are not talking about processing and output, because parameter method or buffer reader, scanner, these are used to input values, okay, or to get values from the user. Okay, it has nothing to do with your processing part or your output part. We'll be only using the input part. Okay, means the input you can do using parameter, or you can do using scanner, or you can do using buffer reader. You can choose any one of this. Anyone is fine in your board exam. Okay, you can use parameter, you can use scanner, you can use buffer, but I would suggest that in board exam use scanner or buffer. Okay, any one of these two, use scanner or buffer. So let us move forward. So in this program, again we'll divide this program into three parts. In this program, it has asked input. To input what? To input all types of values in Java. So all types of values means there are integer values, there are real values, there are character values, and there is boolean. Okay. So now what we'll do, we'll input all types of values using all data types also. Okay. So first try to remember what are all the data types. So all the data types are starting from integer byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, string, and boolean. So these are the data types we have studied in class 9. The total 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Total 9 data types. So here we will be taking 9 inputs. Total 9 inputs. And what will be the processing? Here there is no processing actually, because we are not calculating anything. Processing is more about calculations. Okay, we are not calculating anything. So basically there is no processing here. We are just printing it. So there is output. Okay, there is just output here. So we'll print all the values we have inputted. The user will give the data, and now we just have to print it. So there is output here. In this program there is no processing. Okay, because processing more about calculation. Here you are just taking input and giving the output. So first we'll do this program using parameter method, because this is the method you have been using since class 9. Okay, let us start. So first, all programs should start with a class and a name. So class, and let us give the class name as Divya classes. You can give any class name according to identifier rule. And what is identifier rule? For that you have to go to chapter 3 to understand, to revise it. Okay. Then we will give a function name. So I will give, for example, public void DNM. Similarly, you can give any name to the method according to identifier rules. Okay. Now the first thing is to take input. So how to take input? Using parameter. Okay, this area is called the parameter area. This area. So here I will take the input. So there are total 9 inputs: byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, string, and char. So let us take 9 inputs. I will start from byte, then short, then int, then long, then float, then double, then char, then string. String S should be capital because it is not a primitive data type, it is a class type data type. Okay. Then last is boolean. Okay. So here I have taken total 9 inputs: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And the next thing is to do what? To print the values. It is just a simple program. So system.out.print. You can write print, you can write println, but here println will be more beautiful because it will come line by line. Okay. And we'll just print the value. Okay. The first value, that is present in the variable A. Then similarly, print the value present in variable B, the short type value. The third, I will print the int value present in variable C. Then I will print D. Then I will print E. then F, then G, then H, and then I. The total 9 print statement, because there are 9 values to print. So there are 9 print statement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The program is over. So simple program, right? Input the values, print the values using parameter. So now we'll compile it. No syntax errors. The program is completely fine. And now we will run the program. So it is asking for input. This is how the input is being asked, because we are using parameter. The box will come and you have to input the values in this box. The byte I will give, for example, 50, short let 400, int let it be 10,000, long let it be 7890. Give a L, because long values should be followed by L. It is optional, but here let us give L. Okay. Then float 6.7 F. F is compulsory in float. Double 5.6 D, again optional. You can write D. If you don't want, you may not. Then char value should be within single quote, single character within single quote, string within double quotes. And boolean can either be true or false. There are only 2 values. Either you have to write true or false. So we have given the values, and now the values are being printed because we had written println. If I would have written print, then everything would have been printed in the same line, like 50, 400, like this. So it would look very ugly. It will be not clear. So therefore we have used println. So you have to think that where should I use print and where should I use println. Okay. Simple program. Now we'll write the same program using scanner. Why scanner first, not buffer? Because scanner you have already studied in class 9. Okay, you have already understood what is scanner, how to write scanner. So let us first write in scanner. Remember, scanner, buffer and parameter talks about the input part. So here this part is the input part. For this program we don't have a processing part, we have only the output part. So we are not talking about this output part. Okay, we are not talking about this output part. We are talking about only the input part. Always remember, buffer, reader, scanner and parameter always talks about input. Forget about what you have written in processing and output. Okay, so I will just make you forget this part. Assume that this part doesn't exist. Okay, assume that this part doesn't exist. Therefore I have graded it to let you know that it doesn't exist. So before writing scanner, I will give you important points to remember. Okay, so please remember these points. Point number 1. So I will give the heading that compulsory parts to be written, compulsory parts to be written in all programs. This is for scanner. Okay, we are writing scanner. This is for scanner. So I'll give the points, that is the compulsory part to be written in all programs. So whenever you are using scanner, the following points will be used compulsorily in all the programs. Irrespective of the program, you have to write these things. So first is import statement. Means before using scanner, you have to import it, derive it, bring it from the package. So scanner is present in which package? It is present in java.util package. But don't bring only scanner, we'll be using input mismatch exception also, if you can remember. So we'll write import java.util.asterisk. So all the programs, in all the programs you have to write import java.util.asterisk. All the scanner programs you will be writing in class 10. Also you wrote in class 9 also, you have to write import java.util.asterisk. Similarly, second line you have to write every time is throws input I capital, mismatch M capital, exception E capital. In all the programs you have to write throws input mismatch exception. In all types of scanner programs you have to write throws input mismatch exception. Third point, scanner x equal to, it is not compulsory to write x, you can give any, here x is the object, any object name according to identifier rules, okay, but generally we take x, you can write x, you can continue with x. Scanner x equal to new scanner and within brackets system dot in, okay. In all the scanner programs you have to write this line also. 4, in all the scanner programs before taking input, before taking input, okay, before taking input you have to write print statements, either print or println, okay, print statements. So in all the scanner programs, remember, in all the scanner programs, whatever the program is, all the scanner programs, if you are using scanner in that program, you have to write all the 4 steps. Here I have written all the 4 points compulsorily, that you have to write. You just have to remember that whatever is the scanner program, I have to write all these 4 things. Only now I will let you know that where to write all these 4 things, okay. So you have to write import in all the scanner programs, you have to write the throws line in all the scanner programs, you have to write the scanner x equal to new line in all the scanner programs, and you have to write print statement before taking input in all the scanner programs. Now I will let you know where to write all these 4 lines, okay. So let us move to the program for that. So here the first point you have to write every time is import java.util.asterisk, and where you should write before starting writing the program only. So here we have started writing the program, that is class. Before class you have to write this statement, that is import java.util.asterisk, okay. So this line is done, you have written the first line. Now the second line, throws input mismatch exception. Where you should write? You should write here in the public void, at the end of public void. So the public void ends here. So after writing public void, after the round brackets, after the parenthesis, the round brackets are called the parenthesis, you have to write that line, that is throws, small letters, because throws is a keyword, input, then capital L mismatch, and then exception. Throws input mismatch exception. So our second line is also done. Then the third line, scanner x equal to new scanner system.in, where you have to write after public void, after public void curly brackets, write that line, scanner x equal to new scanner and within brackets system dot, okay. So our third line is also over, and now we'll come to fourth line. Before that we'll come to input, then we'll write the print line. So here in parameter we were writing here. Now what we'll do, a simple method, okay. Now we'll be converting this parameter to scanner. Actually we are converting this parameter method to scanner method. cut everything or delete everything from that place. So I'll be using cut here. So this parameter is deleted. Why? Because now we are not using parameter, so we will not be writing anything here. In all the scanner programs, this will remain empty because this area is for parameter input. So we are not doing parameter input, so this will remain empty. And paste it here, everything. Okay, but here the syntax is not matching because it should be followed by a semicolon. These are all individual statements, so it should be followed with semicolon. So let us convert this to semicolon. So what we are doing here exactly, we are declaring all the variables. We are declaring all the variables. So we have declared all the variables. We have written the scanner line also, and now we'll take input. So how to take input for byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, string, boolean in scanner class? So for that we have to move to the syntaxes, and we have read about the syntaxes in our last class. Okay, so these are the syntaxes I have already written for you here. Okay, these are syntaxes for scanner class. These are the syntaxes for scanner class. So now we'll be using this syntaxes to take input using scanner class. The first input is for a byte type. So first input is for byte. So how to take input using byte? Now you are not using parameter, you have to scanner. So you have to see the syntax for byte. So here you can see the syntax for byte. To input a byte type, you have to write this syntax. That is byte variable equal to x dot next byte. Okay, byte variable. So here I will not be writing byte a again because I have already declared byte. Okay, therefore I will write only a. I have already declared a. I have already declared a. So I will not be repeating byte a again, or else it will give error because I cannot declare the same variable more than once. I have already declared, so I will here now I will write only a. So byte variable, here variable is a equal to x dot next byte equal to x dot next byte, and the work is done. Similarly, next I will take input for b. So I will write b equal to, and what for b? What for short? X dot next short. It is very easy to remember. Then for next int, you have to write next int. So simple. So everything has next in it, and you know for what type of value you are inputting. For byte you have to write byte, for short you have to write short, for int you have to write int. Just remember that the first letter will be capital, is byte. Okay, the first letter will be capital. Then d, x dot next, it is long, so write long. For e, you have to write x dot next float because it is a float value. Then f, it is a double value. Then g, it is char value. For char, it is a little bit different. Okay, it's don't write x dot next char. Okay, it is a little bit different. Go to char. Char variable equal to, you can see, x dot next caret of 0. So what is this caret 0? Okay, for now just remember this line. Caret of 0 is actually part of string chapter. So when we will start studying about string chapter, I will make you understand what is actually caret 0 or what is caret. Okay, caret, what is a caret string function. So next is h. For string also it is different. So string actually has two types, x dot next and x dot next line. Don't write x dot next string. Okay, so for string there is two types, x dot next and x dot next line. So x dot next is used when you want to enter a word. Okay, And if you want to enter more than one word means a phrase or a sentence, okay, then you have to use x dot next line. So here you can either use x dot next or you can use x dot next line according to your preference. For example, the program is asked to input the name of a fruit. So maybe you will write x dot next because it is a single word. Maximum of the fruits have single word only. For example, the program is asked to input name. So name are generally more than 2 words. So you will be using x dot next line. So it is according to the program. Or better, you can use x dot next line, because in x dot next line you can input a word also and can also input a sentence. So better use x dot next line. And the last one is boolean. For boolean, no issues. You can write x dot next boolean. X dot next boolean. So everything has next in it, okay, and it is followed by the data type name. Byte, therefore next byte. Short, therefore next short. Int, therefore next int. Only for char and string, yeah, it is little bit different. You have to remember, okay. But remember what I have told. The fourth point. Remember the fourth point. Before taking input, you have to write print statements. So here we are taking input. These are actually, here only we are taking input. Writing these lines will not make you take input, okay. Like for example, before cooking, you bring all the ingredients, you switch on the gas, then only you can cook, right? So it is similar like this. Import statement, throws, and the scanner line are like ingredients, okay, the starting phase before cooking or the preparation phase. After preparing, we'll start taking input. But before taking input, there is one more thing, that is we have to write print statement. So here each input statement should be preceded by a print statement. I am giving space so that I can insert print statement within it. Okay, so before taking input, the first input was byte input. So before taking input, I have to give a print statement, that is system.out.println, or print also. You can write print also. What to write? Just to let the user know what are you trying to get from him. What type of input do you want from him? Okay, so here you can write please enter a byte value. So it is depend on the question, what type of question it is being asked. Okay, so it will change, the print statement will change, means what you want to print. So here you will be asking the user, please enter a byte value. Similarly, here you will write, please enter a short value. And here, please enter a integer value, int value. Please enter long value. Please enter float value. Please enter double value. Please enter single character value. Please enter string value. Please enter boolean value. Okay, so each input statement should be preceded by print statements. Okay, and all these four are compulsory. You have to write import statement, you have to write throws input mismatch exception, you have to write scanner x equal to new scanner system.in, and you have to write print statements before taking input. And each of this has marks for it. If you are using scanner, you have to write, or else in board exam you will not get full marks. Okay, so what next? So here is the whole thing. Okay, in parameter we are just writing here, but in scanner you have to write everything like this, so that you can take input from the user. It is big, yeah, but it has its own benefit. Actually, programmers don't use parameter, they use this type of methods, scanner methods, buffer methods. Okay, it is better to use these methods, though it is time taking, and you have to remember much and you have to write more. Okay, so after taking input, what you have to do, since this program doesn't have a processing part, we just have to print the values. And here are the print statement. You don't have to change anything here. You just have to change the input part. Remember, scanner buffer parameter talks about input. You just have to change the input part. Don't touch the processing and printing part. So here, after taking input, here the input is over. All the inputs are over. Now you have to print it. The program is. So now let us compile it and then run it. So can you see the difference? So it is not given any box to input. Okay, we are getting the terminal window. Terminal window is the window where we get the output. But here in scanner and also in buffer, the terminal window will be used for both input and output. So now let us give the values. For byte a small value, for short a little bigger, for int a more bigger value, for long a much bigger value, and don't give L here. Okay, it will give you error. In parameter we gave L for long, F for float, D for double, single quotes in single character constant, that is char, double quotes in string. Don't give in scanner input and also in buffer input, it will give you error. Okay, remember this. There is a difference in how to input in parameter and how to input in buffer and scanner. Float, only give values. Okay, don't give single quotes, double quotes, F, D, L. Okay, don't give any of these things. Char, no single quotes. Okay, string value, no double quotes, and boolean value, it is can be either true or false. And now you can see all the values are printed. So here till this it was input, and from 50, 5, 6, 7, all these are printed because of the println statement. Very simple program. Yes, it is very simple to write scanner. And now we'll write the same thing using buffer reader. And buffer reader will also follow the compulsory parts. Okay, the compulsory parts of buffer reader. So instead of import java.util.asterisk, here the first point will be import. It is present in java.io, so it will be import java.io.asterisk. Second, instead of writing throws input mismatch exception, you will write throws I capital, O capital, E capital exception. Then here we are not using scanner, you are using buffer reader, so you have to write the buffer reader line, that is buffered in ed. People forgot to write ed, they write buffer reader. It is not buffer reader, it is buffered reader. Okay, buffer reader x equal to new buffered reader. Then it is not only system.in, there is another line, that is new input stream reader, and then system.in semicolon. Okay, and the fourth is the same thing. Before taking input, you have to write print statement. The rules are same, only the syntax will change. Instead of java.util, you will write java.io. Instead of input mismatch exception, you will write IO exception. Instead of scanner x equal to new scanner, you will write buffer reader x equal to new buffer reader, new input stream reader, system.in. And this remains same. That is, before taking input, you have to write print statement. So scanner buffer is almost same, only the syntax is a little bit different. Okay, so now we'll convert this scanner program into buffer reader. So util will become IO. Okay, it will present in the same line. Throws input mismatch exception will become IO exception. This will remain same. Scanner line will become buffered reader. Scanner will again become buffered reader, and we'll write new input stream reader. Okay, one extra line here. And the fourth is, before taking input you have to write print statement. Though we have already written print statement before taking input, but the syntax of input will change because this input syntax are for scanner class, right? So now we have to see how to take input using buffer reader. For that I have already written the syntaxes for you. Okay, so these are the syntaxes of buffered reader. Okay, these were for the scanner, these are for the buffered reader. So for byte you have to write byte dot parse byte x dot readline. It is little bigger as compared to scanner, so we'll write this line. The syntax is a little bigger, but again for byte you have to write byte dot parse byte x dot readline. Okay, for short you have to write parse short. So if you're taking int, it will be integer dot parse int. I'll just copy it from here so it will be faster. Okay, you have to remember this syntax. It is bit longer as compared to scanner, so please remember all the syntaxes. Sorry, then double, then we have char syntax is like this, x dot read, and for string it is x dot readline. So the last thing we have is boolean. Done. Only you have to replace the scanner part with buffer reader part with the buffer reader syntaxes. Clear? So we have written the import statement java.io, we have written the throws statement, we have declared all the variables, we have written the buffer line, and you have taken input, and before taking input you have written the print statement. So buffer reader is almost equivalent to scanner, only the syntaxes are different. Okay, so now we'll compile the program. So you can see it is just similar to scanner. Okay, it is not asking any box. It is equivalent to scanner. There is no much difference, only for the syntaxes. A bigger value, a much bigger value, more bigger value, and don't give L, F, D, single quotes, double quote, just like scanner. Okay, you don't give all these things. Float, double, char value, no single quotes, string value, no double quotes, and boolean value. This time let us give false. So you have taken input till this, and now println is working and you are printing all the values. Clear? So this completes buffer reader and scanner program. So now we'll discuss few last 5 years board questions. So what has come in the theory part? Okay, what has come in the theory part? And you can see this program. Write 2 menu driven programs using buffer reader and scanner. Okay, this will be given to you as an assignment. Okay, as an assignment this will be given. You know how to write menu driven programs. Okay, so try it by yourself and then I will give you the answer. Okay, don't worry if you are not able to do in your assignment, don't worry, try it. Okay, try it, even if it is wrong, try it, give me, I will correct it and I will give you the correct answer. Okay, last 5 years questions. The first question is, what is meant by a package? Give examples. What is meant by package? A package is a collection of similar type of classes. Okay, we have already studied in this chapter in the first part of this chapter. Okay, give example. We had read about many packages. Write what which you remember, like java.lang, java.io, java.util. Okay, 2 to 3 are enough. So this question came in 2019 and it has also in 2006 and 2014. So this question has repeated many times. 2018 it came, name the package that contains wrapper class. That is java.lang is the package that contains wrapper class. What is the difference between scanner class functions next and next line? So we studied just right now in this video. Next is used to take word as an input. Next line is used to take sentence as an input. If you want a single word, use next function. If you want a sentence as an input, then use next line. And this is for string. Okay, this is for string. Name two library packages. Okay, so basically it means the same thing. Okay, so again it was repeated in 2016. So see, already repeated 4 times. Name two library packages. Just give anything, java.io, java.lang, java.util. Okay. Then in 2015, 3 questions came. That is almost 6 marks of question. So an average of 4 marks has come since 2005. So this is also an important part in theory also. Okay. So you have to remember all the theory parts also. Then name the wrapper class of char and boolean type. So for char, it is capital C and full form character. Go to the table of wrapper class and see it if you don't remember. For boolean type, it is boolean. For boolean type, it is boolean. What is the function of catch block in exceptional handling? Where does it appear in the program? Okay, catch block in details is not in our syllabus. Okay, so what is catch block? What is the function of catch block? Just remember. So catch block actually processes, the catch block processes errors. Okay, the catch block processes errors, or we can say exceptions of codes written in try block. So you will write that a catch block processes errors or exception if any of the codes written in try block. Try and catch are old functions of Java which are not present now. Okay, we don't use much of try and catch, but you use throws instead of that. Okay, so what is the work of throws is the same as try and catch, almost equivalent. Okay, so catch block processes the errors or exceptions of the codes written in try block. Where does it appear in the program? Right, it appears after try block. It appears after try block. Okay, you have to just remember this. It is not much in details in our board exam. State the packages that contains buffer reader and scanner class. The buffer reader is present in java.io package. It is present in java.io and scanner is present in java.util package. And scanner is present in java.util package. So this completes chapter 8. So we'll be having exam soon, and before that I will be giving you few assignments. Okay, till then, have a nice day. Thank you.